Hi everyone! Today our video is going to be a little bit different and I'm excited. In the spirit of recognising the need for cultural diversity within the arts in Australia, I've invited two guests, Stephen and Mohammed, and we've worked in collaboration with Bianca to pull together a fun video explaining some key concepts we pulled from Andrea Simpson's article, Toolkit to Pave the Way for Anti-Racism in the Arts. I think it's a really great video and I really hope you enjoy it. Take it away.
Okay, let's go.
Diversity. Australia is a very culturally diverse place. But what about in the creative industries? In Andrea Simpson's article, it highlights that the cultural diversity of Australia's population is not as accurately represented within the creative industries. But there is a way to tackle that.
The Toolkit.
Not the one your dad has in his garage. I'm talking about the Creative Equity Toolkit, baby.
Ponder this. When you're out and about shopping for your groceries, going to the movies, hanging out with friends, the cultural diversity of our population is evident, yes? Now what about the creative industries? What do you see? Is the diversity of our population really reflected within our cultural organisations and their creative outputs? Diversity Arts Australia disagree, stating, "We want to see more culturally diverse actors, screen producers, published writers, musicians, visual artists, dancers, as well as more culturally diverse arts professionals in decision-making roles in Australia's creative sectors. This requires organisational and structural change."
Okay, so with this in mind, Diversity Arts Australia have worked with the British Council. Britain has a similar problem. But anyway, they've worked with the British Council and other organisations and entities to develop a toolkit with resources to support creating an equitable arts centre through that cultural diversity we're talking about. Now look, it's an online toolkit, easily accessible for anyone wanting to enhance cultural diversity in the creative industries.
Diversity Arts Australia Chair Professor James Tuckey's said, "Australia's rich cultural history is something we're proud of, but not something that has materialized into a diverse cultural environment within the creative industry. We've got to keep up that level of consistency when materializing diverse cultures."
Did you guys know that 1 in 3 of us, or 39% of Australians, have that culturally diverse background? You know, this is a multiculturalism we're all so proud of. But look, here's the thing, because somehow less than 50% of major cultural organisations have people from culturally diverse and, diverse linguistic backgrounds in those leadership roles. These are the people who make the decisions about what we see. So this reinforces that Australia has an issue of structural and systematic racism, and it notably underrepresents the First Nations people and people of colour within our creative industries.
To combat this, the Creative Equity Toolkit was developed. This toolkit is a knowledge exchange-based website including curated resources and links to research, case studies and policy documents.
Not only does it include all this information, but it's categorised into 11 subtopics. I'll give you some examples. Some of the 11 subtopics it talks about. You've got policy. You've got anti-racism, that might be an issue you're having. You've got programming and commissioning. So that's just 3 of the 11 there. And if you're working on a project, a creative project, or you're working within an organisation in the industries, these are some examples of what you might want to address. Just to give you a way it breaks it down, okay, you're talking about questioning your cultural context for the industry. You might be looking at auditing your program. Another question you might have is a way you can actually set diversity targets. So these are the questions you find under your programming and commissioning, and then it'll provide you the relevant resources.
Hey, that's pretty good.
The developers have provided how-to guides, reviews, as well as varying contexts for use. The Creative Equity Toolkit empowers those in the creative industries to build a more culturally diverse sector, which will in turn reflect the cultural diversity that is Australia.
So here's the thing, we now know we have a problem in our creative industries of inequality, but we also know there's something we can do about it. Check out the toolkit. Bye guys.
So, what do you think? Do you like the idea of the Creative Equity Toolkit? I kinda do. Why don't you discuss it in the comments? I'll link both the article and the toolkit below. Thanks. See you next week.